Hello, and welcome to the Power of Up, your weekly boost of hope, perspective, and positivity. In a world that often pulls us down, this show is about rising above. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Kellogg, and today we're diving into something that might be one of the most important and underrated decisions you can make for your mental health, and that's the people you surround yourself with. Here's the big question that I'd like to ask. Are the people in your circle building you up, or are they slowly wearing you down? We'll talk about why surrounding yourself with positive people is essential for your good mental health, the dangers of keeping negative influences too close, and how you can start cultivating a circle that fuels growth, happiness, and resilience. So let's get into it. I want you to think about this for a moment. When was the last time you walked away from a conversation feeling energized, hopeful, and really ready to take on the world? Now think about the opposite. When was the last time you left a conversation drained, discouraged, or even angry? That's the power of human influence. Psychologists call this emotional contagion. That's the idea that emotions are contagious, like a cold. If you spend time with people who are positive, supportive, and hopeful, you'll tend to mirror those feelings. On the other hand, if you spend your days around negativity, cynicism, or constant complaining, you'll find yourself absorbing that too. The people closest to us act like mirrors. If their outlook is dark and critical, it's hard for us not to see the world through the same lens. If their outlook is bright, solution-focused, and hopeful, suddenly, possibilities will open up. So what are we talking about when we talk about positive people? Well, it doesn't mean someone who is fake or ignores life's challenges. Real positivity is about perspective. Positive people acknowledge struggles but choose to focus on solutions, growth, and gratitude. And here's what they can bring you and to your mental health. First of all, encouragement. Positive people remind you of your strengths. They say, "You've got this," when you doubt yourself. They also bring perspective. When something feels overwhelming, they help you zoom out and see the bigger picture. They can also bring energy to your life. They bring an atmosphere of possibility, and that energy is contagious. And they can also help you out with your resilience. They model how to bounce back after setbacks, showing that obstacles aren't the end, they're just part of the journey. Being around this kind of energy doesn't just feel good, it strengthens your mental health. Studies show that people with strong, supportive social connections are less likely to experience depression and anxiety, and they even recover faster from stress. But let's talk about the flip side. What happens if you're surrounded by negative people? We all know that one friend, coworker, or family member who constantly complains, criticizes, or plays the victim. Now, spending too much time with them can quietly chip away at your peace of mind. Here's why. First of all, negativity rewires your brain. When you constantly hear complaints, gossip, or criticism, your brain starts to default to those same patterns. And number two, your stress can skyrocket. Your body literally reacts. Whether it's a heart rate increase, cortisol, the stress hormone rises, and you feel on edge. Number three, hope shrinks. Over time, negativity makes it harder to believe things can get better, which can feed anxiety and depression. Think of negativity like secondhand smoke. You don't have to be the one lighting the cigarette for it to affect your health. Just being around it is enough. So how do you know if your circle is lifting you up or dragging you down? Well, there's a few questions you can ask yourself. First of all, how do I feel after spending time with this person? Do I feel lighter or heavier? Number two, do they celebrate my wins or do they downplay them? Question number three, do they encourage my growth or do they try to keep me small? Number four, are our conversations mostly uplifting or mostly draining? If you're noticing that certain people leave you constantly feeling stressed, judged, or unsupported, it may be time to set boundaries. And remember, this isn't about cutting everyone out of your life. Sometimes it's just adjusting the distance. You might not be able to avoid certain negative people entirely, especially if they're family or coworkers, but you can limit how much influence they have over your mindset. So the question is, how do you intentionally build a circle of positive people? Well, you can seek out growth-minded communities, first of all. Whether it's a book club, a fitness class, a volunteer group, or even online communities, look for spaces where people encourage and inspire. You can also nurture existing positive connections. Sometimes we already have positive people in our lives, but we don't invest enough time in those friendships. So reach out more often. And finally, be the positive influence yourself. Positivity attracts positivity. When you encourage others, show gratitude, and practice optimism, you'll naturally draw similar people to you. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, here are the 3 small actions you can take this week. First of all, make a plus-minus list. Write down the names of people you spend the most time with. Put a plus next to the ones who lift you up and a minus next to the ones who drain you. This visual alone can be eye-opening. Number 2, schedule intentional time. Call a positive friend, set up a lunch, or join a group where you know the energy will be uplifting. And number 3, limit your exposure. When you know you're going to be around negative energy, protect your boundaries. Shorten the time, change the topic, or prepare a positive mindset going in. So to wrap up, the truth is, your environment shapes your mental health more than you realize. You can eat healthy, exercise, meditate, but if your daily circle is full of negativity, it's like swimming against the current. When you surround yourself with positive, supportive, growth-minded people, you're not just choosing better company, you're choosing a better life experience. So here's my challenge to you this week. Do a little audit of your circle. Notice who lifts you up and notice who doesn't. And then start leaning more into the relationships that give you energy, encouragement, and more hope. Because at the end of the day, life's too short to spend it surrounded by negativity. And I'm hopeful today you'll be able to reconnect with your life with purpose, joy, and possibility. Whether you're navigating through tough times or just need a lift with better people surrounding you, the Power of Up is here to remind you there's always a way forward and up.